So we got to rip up carpet so that we can lay down laminate. And a lot of you don't know this, but there's carpet tack and the carpet pad. You got to take the carpet up in pieces and then roll it out. You put it out the street and they'll take it. But you have to watch out for sharks when you're taking up carpet. Ah, there's one right there. Look at that. They're actually technically shark robots. Oof. Yeah, you got to definitely watch out for that stuff. So I don't know if you guys have ever done anything stupid, but I did this morning again. I thought I knew where I was going. One strike, one kill, Mr. Miyagi. I thought I knew where I was going. Didn't even look at my maps or anything. I was like, yeah, no, I know how to get there. And we were pulling up in the driveway. I'm like, this is the wrong house in the wrong city. I'm gonna be late. And so I was talking to Brooke about it. And I'm like, well, looks like I'm a failure now. And she goes, well, no, because when you found your mistake, then you fixed it and you went to the right house. I was like, oh, other people don't do that? She goes, no. I'm like, well, but I mean, they fix it eventually, right? Like they don't just mess up and they're like, well, I guess I'll just give up and F it. And she's like, no, like a lot of times they do that. I'm like, for minutes? And she's like, sometimes for years and decades. So if you're doing that, you know, just like put in the right address and go that way. All right, watch out for sharks.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, you're probably wondering what I was up to today, because that's what you guys do. And what we're doing today is we had to put in outlets through into the concrete, which is super simple. All you gotta do is jackhammer, which is dust-free and doesn't hurt your back at all, and then you get conduit and you run it through your outlets. So that's what we're doing this morning. Now, I want to tell you guys that back to school is coming up, and that doesn't apply to me, but to some of you guys it does. And I heard last night that Walmart is offering free school clothes to anybody that can outrun security. I suggest wearing a mask of some sort or something to disguise your identity. Security usually is pretty heavy set, and they usually just call the cops. So I hope that helps you out. So as a lot of you guys know, my daughter got married this last weekend, and she, I love my daughter, she's wonderful. She says to me, so what are you gonna wear for the wedding? And this was a couple months back. I'm like, I don't know, I guess a suit. And she's kind of like on the phone, like, and I was like, a black suit, that's kind of what I got. And she's like, It's like, what would you like me to wear? And she goes, how about a gray suit? I'm like, okay, I think I might have that. She's like, maybe, like, just tell me what you want. She goes, I'll send you something from Men's Warehouse. So I go to Men's Warehouse, and I'm like, I want this suit. And the guy's like, okay. And he's very skilled at his job. And he walks up and he gets the jacket and he goes, we don't have pants to match. I'm like, does it really matter? Gray is great. Because if you're spending this much, you ought to get the right pants. And I'm all like, how much am I spending? So then he gets me another jacket that's similar. I'm like, okay, cool. He sizes me up. He's like, here, this one should fit. I'm like, it does really well. And then he's like, cool, let's get the pants and we'll measure these and custom tailor them and all this stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, man, thanks. And he goes, are you gonna get a fresh shirt with that? I'm like, I think I got some shirts. He goes, get the shirt. I'm all like, oh, okay. Which one do you suggest? He's like, this one. I'm like, I'll do that one. He was a big guy. So then he goes, you gonna get a new tie with that? I'm like, no, I got some ties. So like, get the tie. I was like, okay. Which tie do you suggest? He's like, this one. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I'll get that tie. You gonna get a new belt? It's like, I got some belts. He goes, get the belt. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna get the belt. So he's like, get this belt. I'm like, that looks like a good one. You gonna get some shoes? I'm like, I got some shoes. He goes, get the shoes. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll get the shoes. So this happened for every article of clothing until finally he's like, that's better. You'll look good. And I'm like, thanks, man. So we go to check out. I'm like, you want how much? And he goes, get the suit. I'm like, okay. So I just paid for it. And that was that. So sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you just gotta have somebody that's like, hey, you have no fashion sense. Let me help you out. And I'm like, I like it when people let me do my job and they take my advice. So I took his advice and he was very stern. Get the suit. Okay, we're gonna go get some lunch. You might be asking yourself, did John just go swimming? Did he take a shower? Did he bathe in his own sweat? It's the last one. So we had to get some wiring done up in the attic. Of course, I had my electrician come work on that, but it was way down in the crook and you had to crawl down and get down. it was pretty much miserable. And then my electrician wired it while it was hot, so that wasn't fun either. And I don't mean temperature hot, I mean like the wire was hot too. So that made it more dangerous. Then I had to bring a bunch of insulation. I did that, not my electrician. All the way to the far end of the house, down to the thing. And my flashlight stopped working. It was dark and it was miserable. So my advice to you is, if it's Texas, it's July, almost August, late afternoon, and you're thinking to yourself, should I get up in the attic for an hour straight? Yeah, I mean, I do it. So, you know, people a lot of times will accuse me of burning the candle at both ends. But I stopped doing that a long time ago because I kept hearing everybody's advice like, hey, John, you're burning the candle at both ends, whatever. And I'm like, I won't do it anymore if that makes you happy. So now I just take the whole candle and throw it in the fire. I'm like, let's just get that over with. All right, so you got loan debt relief calling now. I mean, they just never stop. This is underneath the floor. I don't understand. This isn't right. You know some other things that aren't right? I have never, one time, seen Metallica on Sesame Street. Master of Puppets? Prove it. I mean, James Hetfield, here's my challenge to you. Seriously, I know we're tight because I made the cover song with the one sneeze. But anyway, so me and Mike were talking earlier yesterday, and I was telling him about somebody that I worked with, and she took great pleasure in giving me great misery. I won't go into any details because I don't want you to know who this person is. But at one point, the person that hired both of us was like, that person's pretty mean to you, huh? And I was like, yeah, but you know, she's had some tragedy in her life, and you know, like, I don't know what she's going through, and so I don't want to be mean. I just try to be understanding and whatever. And he goes, John, you see that guy over there? And I've worked with him for years. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that guy lost all of his brothers this year. All of them are dead this year in different wars, car accident, everything. I'm like, seriously? And he goes, yeah. Did you know that? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. He goes, that's because he doesn't make it a thing. Just because bad things have happened to you doesn't mean you get to be mean to people. And I was like, you make a good point. Which kind of reminds me of what happened last night. I go to the grocery store, I check out, I don't buy a lot of groceries, right? But I got peanut butter, and I got milk, and I got some pickles, so I got pickle juice. And the cashier goes, oh, you're single, huh? I was like, yeah, how could you tell? She goes, because you're freaking ugly. I was like, it's not nice. Not a nice thing to say something. It really gives me a complex. All right, well, we're going to go do our part to solve world hunger by eating lunch. Okay, bye. Whoa, this is... On the next... I am so sorry I'm distracted. Welcome to yet another episode of Hoarders. And this is just a perfect opportunity. Come on closer. Come on over here. There's a lot of room to get around in here. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like anxious and just overwhelmed, and I can't. It's too much. I can't handle it. Okay, because like this is there's just so much to do, and you know, at some point in my life, somebody told me the more that you own, the more it owns you, and I really feel like that's true. I feel like we should maybe get rid of some of this stuff. What do you think, Mike? No? Yeah. Keep it. Okay, well, at least can we organize it and clean it up, because please, it just makes me anxious in my heart. Like, I don't understand how people live in a situation like this. It's just too cluttered. It's too crowded. I feel like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I want open space. I want to know, I'm minimalist all the way. So what we're going to do is take all this stuff. We are going to clean up. I don't care what you say. I'm the boss. And then let's go this way. Let's see what's going to happen. Ah, look at this. Oh, I can breathe. This is so much better. But it's not my house, so we're going to take all that stuff and put it back in this room, because we just laid this beautiful floor. Mike did all the hard work. I did all the talking and the jibber jabber. People are always like, how do you get anything done with as many videos as you make? No, I'm pretty lazy. Anything you want to talk about, Mike? Literally any topic.
I'm ready to move some furniture.
Ready to move some furniture, he says. That's fair. I'll allow it. All right, well, enjoy your Friday. Don't do anything stupid. Just kidding. Come on. Hey, guys. Oh, yeah, this is a very big, nice, ornate bed, but it's for very short people. They're almost Smurf-like. They're not blue. They're real people, but what you guys doing down there? They don't want to talk right now. I understand. It can be intimidating, but yeah, big bad, little people. Real story. So, you guys are probably wondering what we did today. The answer is, as usual, not that much. We did do all this flooring though. Now it's not all the flooring in the house. We're doing the whole house with flooring, but we did all this laminate, and so that has been quite time consuming because we had to move furniture. I think we showed you that. The shortest bed in the world for the very short people. They have gone down and moved the walls now, and that's pretty amazing. So what we want to talk to you about, because me and Mike both have been talking about it all day, is that oftentimes, and this is unpopular opinion, oftentimes, brace yourself, our salvation comes through our suffering. And I know you're like, ain't nobody should have to suffer. Everybody should just have like smiling roses all the time or whatever. Incorrect. Oftentimes, I've talked to thousands of people that were like, I was about to kill myself. I went to prison. I got cancer. I almost died. I got in a car wreck. You name it. And before that, they were like, I was out of control. I was on my way to destruction. And that is what changed my life. And that is when I got saved. And that's when I turned my life around. And if this has not happened to you yet, I don't want to say I hope that it does, but I hope that you find your peace, right? I hope you find your salvation. So that sounds really rotten to say, right? But I was talking to a friend of mine recently. She was going through a hard time, and I said that to her, and she goes, you're right. You know, you're right. Because I didn't want to be a drug addict that overdosed and died and went to hell. I mean, that would not have been my first choice. But to be honest with you, had that not happened, the rest of my life would not have happened. And I would have been going down a bad road that probably would have ended in me being dead or in jail. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And instead, I got a whole second chance at life, and I am so very grateful. And as dumb as it sounds to be like, I'm grateful for my pain, I'm grateful for my pain. And if we're being honest, if we look back on our life, right, if we look back in hindsight and we go, these bad things happened, but then you say, well, if we're being honest, if this bad thing hadn't happened, then this wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened, and this good thing wouldn't have happened, and this is worth all the pain that I went through, right? So I hope that gives you some encouragement, because that's why I mean that. I hope you have a wonderful Friday night, you do fun things, and maybe you're like, I just want to hang out with John, we'll do it. I'm going to go home, take a shower, and go to bed anyway, so I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye-bye. Maybe you're working, going along about your day like, we are going to get all this floor done today. And then what happens? Sweep, 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 bang, 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 scrape, 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 lights go out. One of these things is out of place. Sweep, 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 bang, 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 scrape, 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 lights go out. It's that one. It's the lights go out. So, anyway, our customer's power went out, and now we've got to go do another job. And, you know, sometimes you maybe miss an important detail in life, like, hey, did you talk to the power company? And sometimes, maybe in life, you miss other important details, like, hey, did you get your life right with God before it's time for your number was up? That's important. All right, so this customer told me a joke, and I thought it was pretty creative, so I'm going to tell you this joke. Put on your thinking caps. Imagine this, a mother rat with her baby rats. I know some of you are disgusted by that, but it doesn't matter. They're all God's creatures. This mother rat's there protecting her baby rats when all of a sudden she looks over and there's a tomcat like skulking up, right? And he's ready to pounce, and all of a sudden the mother rat turns to the cat while protecting her kids and goes, and then the cat's like, ah, and runs away. And the mother rat looks to her children, she says, see kids, it's always beneficial to learn another language. I think that's a pretty good lesson in life. So once I heard that joke, I'm like, I want to learn another language too. So let me practice on you guys. S-O-C-K-S. I just spell socks. I don't know another language. I'm really lazy. All I'm saying is, as you can clearly see, we've put in all this floor for coffee and stuff, which is great. We still have some touch-ups to do, but if you remember, that was a window. There was a pony wall here. Get rid of that stuff. Here, come on. We still need to put thresholds in, so don't hate. Wash your dryer back in. We did all this floor. We did all this floor. Amazing, right? I mean, really it is. Oh, the closet, you don't see the closet? Yeah. Look at that, you can put it all the way in the closet. How beautiful is that? Now, Mike, where do bad rainbows go?
I have no idea.
Prism. It's a light sentence. Right at the end. And then, we still haven't grabbed it in here, but we'll just go ahead and show you. There we go. More, just everywhere. Look at all this. It's crazy car. And then come on in. So we still need to grab all this. We're going to put in a new vanity. We got to put the toilet back in. We got to put up a shower door. And grab over here. This was, remember, a bathtub. And then we put in this shower. And then this was a shower. And then we're building this closet. So that's going to be so beautiful. So beautiful. All right, so one last question before we go. And that is, if you get in a car wreck, but then you get it fixed, is that a auto body experience? So maybe sometimes you're working and you get like some fringe benefits at work, right? Like here's a bonus, right? And so in this case, we were taking up this carpet and I found this penny. Now I know a lot of you guys would just throw it away. You'd be like, I don't even pick up pennies, I'm too good for that. Technically that's illegal. It's illegal because that's government property, and if you throw that away, that's against the law. And I can't imagine how much more hypocritical it could possibly be than the government telling you not to throw away money, when that's all they do is throw away money. Anyway, we're laying some laminate, come on. So we laid this way, and then we're gonna fill all this in. So here pretty quick, you'll see. So we have to take out the carpet and the carpet tack and the baseboards and everything, and then cut off the board, the bottom of the door jambs, and then we will get that. So let's look at this room. You remember the shower? But pretty quick, we're gonna have a nice floor to make the shower even more beautiful. And we're gonna plug some texture and stuff too. All right, see you guys soon, bye. You guys are still here watching me? It's Saturday. Shouldn't you be doing something fun, like going to a birthday party? Because that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we did get an awful lot of floor laid. Take a quick pan around here. Look at all that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, it's not all done yet. We still have some baseboards. I know all you haters want to hate on me, but it's fine. Come on. So then we've got this bedroom done, which, you know, once again, it's not all the way done. And then we got the start of this bathroom. But then we got to go. So, and then obviously there's this beautiful glass door. And, come with me, all of this other stuff. Laminate throughout the entire house. So we're almost done with this one. We're super excited. We love the people. We want them to be happy, and we want them to be happy with what they've got. Now, I want to talk to you about depression, because I get depressed all the time. And then, you know what I'm doing? I think a couple things. Number 8, the seeds of depression cannot grow in a grateful heart. So if you are grateful, you cannot be depressed. It's impossible. So that's really important to know. Also, if you're feeling depressed and sad, lonely, feeling sorry for yourself, whatever, then here's what you do. You're like, oh, poor me, boo-hoo, and you're focusing on all the bad things in your life. Then you stop that, and you go and you find somebody that needs a friend more than you do. And you go be the friend to that person that you wish somebody would be to you. Because I know you're sitting there going, I wish somebody would be nice to me. I wish somebody would come and take me out to dinner. I wish somebody would, I don't know, want to play video games with me, or whatever it is that you guys do. Go do that for somebody that's less fortunate than you. They will be so grateful. They'll be like, I have a friend. And they'll be like, I'm happy. And you're like, I'm happy. And all of a sudden your heart of stone just starts to melt away. And then you're like, I'm so grateful. And look at my friend just turned upside down. So do it. Be nice to people. It's okay. I give you permission. Have a great weekend. Right. Hello there. We are so happy that we're finally pretty much done with this job. We got to come back and do some things, but let me just show you around. So we, if you remember, had not laid this floor, and now we have laid this floor. And look, it goes on into the closet, which is quite a large closet. It goes into that closet, which is truly amazing. It goes into where the toilet area is, which is also amazing. You saw the shower we did before. We're going to lose this mirror, so if anybody wants it, it's got a picture of you in it. It's a moving picture, so as you move, it'll move. It mirrors you, if you will. We're going to change out some lights here eventually. Sorry, almost done. We got all this in, all this in, all this in. Lots of floor. We got this floor done, put in new toilets, which is really amazing because they flush and everything goes down the shed. All this stuff in, the bedroom, I'm not gonna go look in there. And wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Watch out behind you. And boom, all this up. So, and this one too. And we put in all new baseboards, which really finishes it off. You can tell there's a big difference between having baseboards and not having baseboards. Also make a big difference whenever they, clean up and put a furniture back place. So, what do you think we should talk about, Mike? Just literally anything.
The meaning of life.
That's right, Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, so let me tell you what happens. I can't tell you how many people in my life have been like, I can't trust the Bible because blah, blah, blah. Broken telephone, right? So the concept of broken telephone is this. I whisper something in your ear like, look at this black brush. And then that rhymes with something and they didn't really hear me and maybe they're a 5-year-old anyway. And so then they whisper something else. And by the time you get around the circle, then they're talking about bananas. And you're like, that's not the same thing. And so a lot of people are like, how can we even trust the Bible? Because what if when they translated it all these times, what if that's not the case? Number 8, when they translate it, there is a blessing and a curse in Revelation at the end of the Bible. And it says, anyone who adds anything to the words of this book, all the plagues written in this book will be added to them. And anybody who takes away so much as one word from all of this book, their name will be taken out of the Lamb's Book of Life. So if you believe the Bible enough to translate the Bible, why in God's holy name would you change anything? Because there's clearly a curse. And I know a lot of Bible translators, and they're all take it very seriously. The Masorites, right, way back in the day, when they used to not translate the Bible, but copy, because they didn't have printers back then. I know it's a shocker. So they would hand copy. They had to memorize how many letters there were in each book. They had to memorize the middle letter of each book. They had to know it backwards and forwards, literally. And if even the king walked up and said, hey, John, I noticed that you're working on that. What is that you're working on? You would have to wait till you finished copying the entire book you were working on and counted every letter and counted the middle letter and then got it done and like, yes, and then look up at the king and say, now what was it that you wanted? Because they take it that seriously, because that is the word of God and you're just the king. So, you're like, that's just a bunch of words, John. Everybody can say a bunch of words. True story. But in 1947, what happened? Mike, do you know?
No.
Close. Okay, so the Dead Sea Scrolls. So the Dead Sea obviously is in Israel. I've been there. I swam in it. It's very salty. 9 times saltier than any ocean. And some goat herder kid was walking along with his goats, and he found this little cave, and he climbs down in the cave, and what does he find? You're right. A bunch of clay pots that were sealed off. No air got to them for literally, whatever it was, 1,900 years, something like that, right? A little less than 1,900 years. And so they find these pots, and he's like, ooh, I should tell somebody. And they do, and the archaeologists come, and everybody comes, and they look at it. And because Hebrew hasn't changed from when it started till now, and people that read Hebrew can still read the same old Hebrew as the new Hebrew because it's not a bunch of slang. Because of that, then they read it and they compared it to today's Bible, and they're like, oh, that's really identical. Like, there's nothing. The only differences were so minor that it wouldn't matter. It would be the tiniest of differences. And so if you're like, I wonder if it matters and if I can trust the Bible, the answer is yes, you can trust the Bible, because number 8, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Letter 2, when you read the Bible, it's not like any other book. It's the living Word of God. Therefore, it cuts to your heart and you go, I feel like God is talking to me right now, right? If you don't believe me, try it. Pick up the Bible, open literally anywhere. Just open it up with your eyes closed and look, and God will be like, hey, this is what you need to deal with right now. And you're like, as a matter of fact, it is. Guarantee it'll happen, right? Guarantee. I challenge you to do this because I feel like you're like, that won't work. It will work. I promise you that. And the other thing is that we all worry about like petty little things. Like, did they say exactly this or exactly this? As if it's some kind of a magic formula, right? Like, if I say this spell right, then all of a sudden it will work. And if I miss a word or something, then it's a different kind of a spell. Because we're used to, I don't know, Harry Potter or witches spells or whatever in the world. But the truth is that it's not about that. Christianity is about faith. And so there are many times that Jesus heals a blind man, in the Gospels, but he never does it the same way twice, right? So one point he says, go and wash yourself in the water, and then they do, and they come back, and then they can see. Another point he spits in mud, and then puts that on his eyes, and then he can see. Another time he just says, be healed, and he can see. And the point is that it's not a spell. It's not some magical Latin, and all of a sudden it works. It is the fact that you have faith in God, and you're like, this isn't me doing this is God doing this. And therefore, splitting hairs on this is a ridiculous fight anyway, because the whole thing dumbs down to this. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And we've got a new house in here. Not completely new. They're going to paint. They're going to do so much stuff. It's going to be so exciting. They're going to paint, put in new granite. Fidel's going to come in and put a new granite in here and in the 2 bathrooms. Then we're going to put in new faucets for them. Mark Bush is going to come out here with Steven's painting and paint all the cabinets and do some texture and then paint all the walls and everything. And I am so excited because this is a transformation on this house. So hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. See you soon. Love you. Bye. Oh, hey there. So probably you guys were doing fun stuff because it's a Saturday. Maybe you went to Hurricane Harbor or went swimming or had a barbecue or something. Oh, it's a holiday weekend, isn't it? It's Labor Day. And my boss doesn't care about that stuff. He does not care about me at all. Anyway, so Fidel came in here and put in these beautiful granite countertops everywhere, undermount sink and stuff, and then we came back behind him and put on the backsplash. So it is now beautiful. And we're very happy we did touch-ups all day long because that's fun, and put in fans and lights. We had our electrician do it. And faucets, we had our plumber do that. All right, so I'll tell you guys a wonderful story. But my very first job was at Showbiz Pizza, and my boss comes out. We were cooking pizzas, obviously, at Showbiz Pizza, which is now Chuck E. Cheese. And pizza comes out, and he says, "Who made this pizza?" And everybody's like, "Ugh." You're like, "Oh, this pizza right here. I want to know who made this pizza." And I'm like, "Oh gosh, it was me." And so, you know, I'm thinking I'm gonna get fired like pretty quick. And I'm like, I made the pizza. And he goes, "Everybody come over here and look at this thing." And we all did. He goes, "This is exactly how Supreme Pizza needs to look. Everything's spaced evenly. It's all the right weight and size and everything." And I'm like, so it's a good lesson. Oh, was that a siren? I think my ride's here. All right, guys, have a good day. Yeah. So I have been working at my company for 28 years, and not one time have I ever got employee of the month, employee of the year, even employee of the moment, until I've got my very own sign. I didn't even get it for my own self, and I'm the owner of the company. But I've got this for my parking spot in my garage, and it's going to say reserved for employee of the month, and that's me. And next month I have to renew it, and every month after that I have to renew it. So thank you, James. It's one of the best moments of my life. I'm considered a legend at literally everything in the world that I do, except when it comes to using one of these things. Whatever it is and whatever in the world it does. I think it's a red monkey hurricane stopper, flood reverser. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea what I'm talking about. The first thing I like to do whenever I install a plumbing fixture is throw out the instructions. I already know everything anyway. What's that thing? Oof.